Hello everyone, this is Yuko. In this channel, I will share information in English that I have gathered myself because events happening in China often do not reach other countries. I gather information from various sources, and I would be delighted to receive your comments on the content of the videos. As English is not my native language, I use an AI speaker to read the information in English. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel and supporting it. Now, let me introduce the topic of social issues in China. Various problems have persisted in Chinese society for a long time. For example, the issue of human trafficking, which I have mentioned before, has been a problem for quite some time and has not seen any improvement. The lack of improvement is attributed to the significant responsibility held by the Chinese Communist Party. As mentioned earlier, this is a long-standing issue in China that has worsened due to the policies of the Communist Party. Now, let's delve into a specific incident. Please take a look at this article. This is a recent incident from November in the region called Liangshan in Sichuan province. This area is quite mountainous. While coastal regions in China are economically developed and prosperous, it is believed that inland areas like this one have been left behind in economic development. The incident in this region has garnered attention. In some regions of Japan, it is a custom for the groom's side to give money to the bride's family during marriage. Similarly, in China, it is a tradition for the groom to give a certain amount of money called kaili to the bride's family during marriage. In the story mentioned in this article, a man gave 300,000 yuan, about 6 million yen, to the bride's family. This is a substantial amount, especially in the inland areas of China. The typical amount in this region is around 100,000 yuan, so the man reportedly prepared 3 times the usual amount, totaling 300,000 yuan. However, after the money was paid, the woman changed her mind about marriage. The man understood her decision and agreed to part ways. However, an unexpected turn of events occurred. Typically, when a marriage proposal is rejected, it is natural to return the betrothal gifts. However, in this case, despite receiving 300,000 yuan, the woman's family insisted on not returning the money, leading to a dispute between the two families. As a temporary solution, the woman's family proposed returning half of the amount, 150,000 yuan. However, from the man's perspective, having already paid a significant sum, accepting only half back was unacceptable. Unfortunately, the situation escalated, resulting in a tragic incident. The man and his father confronted the woman and her family with knives, resulting in the death of the woman and injuries or deaths in other family members. This incident has drawn attention to the possibility that dowry disputes in China could lead to murder. In Japan, if a similar monetary dispute escalates into a murder, the perpetrator would face severe consequences. However, online sentiments in China seem different, with many netizens supporting the man. The difference may be related to variations in legal systems and public perceptions between Japan and China. Nevertheless, taking a life is an excessive response. While China is often said to be a country where problems are ignored, relying on that notion is not a solution. Even if legal procedures are pursued, recovering money from an uncooperative party can be extremely challenging. As seen in this case, relying on government or national systems for relief in times of trouble may not be effective. There is a background of having to resolve issues on one's own. In such situations, where large sums are given and not returned, there seems to be a somewhat justified sense among many people to resort to attacking the other party. In essence, there is a significant amount of support for the man and his father who committed the murder, driven by a lack of trust in the legal system in such circumstances and the perceived necessity of taking matters into one's own hands. Another factor is the fear of losing a large amount of money in marriage-related transactions, which may lead some individuals to feel cornered and view violence as their only option. By the way, the tradition of giving money during marriage originated in ancient rural China. At that time, women were also significant labor contributors, and when a daughter got married and left, the family would lose crucial labor. To compensate for this loss, the custom of giving money was established. Initially, the amounts were not as substantial as they are now. Paying several times one's annual income has become a recent development in Chinese history. One factor behind this change is the Communist Party's previous implementation of the one-child policy. While having multiple children in rural areas was not an issue before, under the one-child policy, there arose concerns about families losing all children if a daughter married, leading to worries about the future. The Communist Party had promised citizens that if they had one child, the state would ensure support in their old age. However, in recent years, the government has shifted its stance, urging citizens to take care of themselves and causing concerns about individual futures, contributing to a shift in public opinion. As a result, there are numerous financial disputes in China, and the parties involved are not necessarily solely at fault. The bride's family may be criticized as heartless and ruthless, but they are individuals pushed to their limits by the policies of the Communist Party. However, it doesn't mean they don't have issues of their own. While they may worry about their future, demanding several times the annual income of the other party could lead couples to start married life with significant debt. This can pose challenges in raising children and place a considerable burden on others. This issue involves not only financial aspects but also psychological aspects, with individuals seemingly adopting an attitude that they don't care about what happens to others, focusing on their own convenience. However, even with the repeal of the one-child policy, the number of children has not increased. Therefore, it is believed that this problem is more likely to worsen than improve. Concerns about what to do if a daughter demands a large sum of money will likely increase for people. It is seen as their chance to obtain the largest amount of money in their lives, and they will strive to seize this opportunity as much as possible. On the other hand, the party that must pay does not have such flexibility. The amounts involved have gradually increased. In the late 1990s, it was already reported that in rural areas, people were paying 3 to 4 times their annual income. However, by the 2000s, the situation escalated to the point where one had to pay 4 to 7 times their annual income to get married. This situation means significant financial sacrifices, requiring individuals to save rigorously, take out loans, or seek parental support. However, this is not just about financial aspects. As some parts of China become wealthier, people in rural areas are aware of the lifestyles of those with cars and luxurious homes depicted in the media, such as television and the internet. As a result, there is increasing pressure to provide items such as cars and homes, in addition to large sums of money. In terms of monetary value, individuals now need to prepare 11 to 16 times their annual income to get married. In some regions, even more is required, and the situation remains insufficient. This could potentially lead to an increase in the number of people unable to get married. The amounts vary in different regions of China. Generally, economically underdeveloped regions inland tend to have lower amounts than wealthier coastal areas. However, even with lower amounts, the burden can be heavy in inland regions where incomes are generally lower. Situations where receiving 300,000 yuan, about 6 million yen, and not returning it are considered serious and problematic, which may be difficult to understand from a Japanese perspective. As a response to these challenges, proposals for the abolition of dowries and reducing marriage-related costs have emerged in various regions of China. There are also voices proposing specific criteria, such as limiting the number of vehicles in wedding processions, as an attempt to reduce the financial burden of marriage. Regardless of government opposition, the fundamental idea is that without paying a significant amount, one won't find a good match. This situation is unlikely to be resolved in the near future, and the number of people getting married is expected to decrease. Consequently, the number of children may also decrease, leading to an aging population, and ultimately, the emergence of regions inhabited only by the elderly. In summary, this issue is not just about marriage, it is intertwined with concerns about agricultural production. Unlike Japan, China faces more complex and worsening problems in this regard. That concludes our discussion for this time. Until next time.